Okay, well, we're going to use a little bit of wall space today. So if you have somewhere that you can clear, that'd be perfect. If you don't, it doesn't matter too much. You can use like a sofa or like the edge of the bed, something like that. But just so that you know, and just grab a couple of blankets, and you might want some pillows, something like that. Something cushiony. So welcome, so nice to see you all. Thank you so much for coming in every week. It's such a pleasure to see you. So this week we're still focusing all around the throat center and really looking to try and keep that momentum upwards. So clearly what I'm talking with Glennis about is got stuck somewhere for me, but we're going to carry on lifting the energy up, working into a little bit of inversions where we're going to use the wall space and just trying to get all of our energy to flow towards the head, the throat, to really build the energy moving up towards our higher mind, towards this kind of ascending energy that brings motivation with it, that brings enthusiasm, this real deep want to progress forward and to evolve. So this is where we're continuing to work just for this last couple of weeks. And a little bit of work around the spine, so trying to just find as much length and opening, a little bit of twisting, but mainly focusing on the inversions again. So just come into an all fours position. We're going to start a little bit of movement at the beginning, and then we'll come into more longer holds. So just take up a nice wide base for your hands, for your knees. And you can have your toes tucked for the moment. It's just helping to open the neck and shoulders as we open the toes. So just take a nice deep breath in here. Find a nice long spine. And as you exhale, push the hips back towards the heels and really stretch the spine. Inhale back to all fours. And you can send the hips a little bit closer towards the floor. And then as you exhale, push the hips back, come into that child's pose-like position. And we're just moving in that way. Inhaling is forward, dropping the hips down towards the floor if that feels okay, and lifting the chest through, and exhaling to push back. Really tucking the tailbone under and stretching away from the hands. Just moving in tune and rhythm with your breath. Just opening the front back bodies and giving the hips a little bit of movement, shoulder joint. Let's just take in a few more through. Keep moving with your breath, noticing if there's any areas that you can move a little bit more deeply into, maybe holding the stretch a little bit longer, maybe slowing down the breath a little bit more. I'm really trying to focus on getting as much length in the spine as you can. Nice, just a couple more movements forward and back. Really opening the chest and opening the hips, opening the glutes. Nice, and then the next time you come back to your heels, push the sit bones all the way back to the heels as much as you can. If you need to take the knees a little bit wider, do that, and then you can start to really lengthen back through the arms and bring the forehead towards the floor. So we're in a child's pose like position, but just opening the toes a little bit longer. And really send the breath into the belly. So as you inhale, the belly's expanding, really opening. And as you exhale, drawing the navel back to the spine. See if you can lengthen the back of the waist a little bit more. Even rolling more towards the hairline, so you feel that real length opening in the cervical spine, in the neck, the back of the neck. Just a couple more breaths here in this position. Let's just take a final round of breath. And then with your next inhalation, move yourself back into all fours and drop your hips down towards the floor. You can relax your toes back and just take a slight bend into the elbow so you can bring your hips down to the floor. If you feel okay in more of a lifted position, you can take your hands out to the side and come into Sphinx. Or if it feels a little bit too strong, just bring your elbows down to the floor and take your palms ahead of you to come into Sphinx Pose. I think I said Sphinx, this is seal. So arms stretched, seal, and have your feet nice and wide. So you're taking up a little bit more space through the feet on the mat. And this is going to give your lower back a little bit more space as well. You want to keep the shoulder blades really sliding down the back and feel the heart space gently pushing and lifting forward and up. So again, trying to pull the spine out of the hips and lengthen up into the crown of the head. So we're getting that energy moving up the spine. Nice, slow, deep breaths around the heart space. So as you breathe in, really feel all of the rib cage expanding, widthways, front, back. And as you exhale, feel a real sense of surrendering all around the heart, around the shoulder blades. Just a few more breaths here. Nice. Finishing just one more round of breath. And then as you exhale, relax your body closer towards the floor. Bring your hands beside your chest. Bring your knees and feet a little bit closer in. And then as you inhale, push up to all fours. Just take a moment again in an all fours position and feel the tailbone gently tucking over and the under and the crown of the head stretching forward. Just opening up that space we've compressed in the lower back and breathing into that space. So really feeling all the tissues opening, expanding. So then take your right hand into more of the center line and step your right foot forward. Nice, just wiggle it towards the top of your mat. And we're again moving a little bit before we hold. So as you inhale, we're shifting the hips back and lifting the toes up. You can walk your fingertips back if that helps you to balance. And then as you exhale, plant the foot down, push the hips forward and lift the chest up. So inhale back, lift the toes off the floor, send the hips back, stretch the hamstrings, and exhale to push forward, lift up through the chest, through the head. So again, just moving in tune and rhythm with your breath. If you need to pad up that back knee, please grab your blanket and just put that underneath your knee. Just two more. Nice, and then stay in your lunge. But this time, bring your hands onto the top of the thigh. So you're gently pushing away from the thigh and see if you can drop a little bit deeper into that into the left hip. So you're really opening from that hip flexor and lifting up and away. And again, feel the spine long and the tailbone just gently tucking under to make space in the lower back. If it feels nice to energize a little bit more up and out, you can take your arms all the way up and reach into the fingertips. So the fingertips are stretching you up towards the ceiling even more. Just taking a few nice deep belly breaths and try to get the breath all the way down into that hip flexor. So you feel all of the tissues opening as you inhale. And maybe seeing if you can deepen into the stretch a little more as you exhale. Nice, just last 2 breaths here. So just in that lunge position, making space through the spine. Nice, and then as you exhale the breath out, bring your hands down to the floor, send your hips a little bit further back, and then you can either pause here and just work into lengthening the spine out of the hips in this position, or you can take your hands on the inside of that front foot, tuck the back toes under and lift up through the back knee. So just working a little bit deeper or pausing and focusing on lengthening the spine. If you've taken the back knee off into lizard, really push out of the back heel, feel the tailbone tucking under and stretch the crown of the head away from that back heel. So you're lengthening the spine and the body in each direction. Not here for too long. Keep squeezing the thighs in towards one another and finding that midpoint of the body. Last 2 or 3 breaths. Nice, slow, deep belly breath. And at the end of your next exhalation, just drop in that left knee down to the floor, walk yourself back, and then slowly bring the right knee around. Just take a moment here in all fours position. And then walk your left hand more towards the middle of your mat, right hand to the right side, and step forward through your left. Take your fingertips either side. And then as you inhale, stretch back through your hips, long through your left leg, and lift the toes off the floor. And then exhale, lunge into it, push the hip bones forward and pull the chest through. Inhale back. And exhale forward. So just getting a bit of movement going with your breath. And really working the spine long. So each way you're stretching the spine out of the hips. That's just 2 more. And then plant that left foot down nice and strong and start to lift your body up and away. Bring your hands onto that front thigh and take a nice deep lunge into that front foot. Again, pad up that back knee as much as you need to. And then lift your body up and away. So you're firmly pushing down onto that left thigh and sending your crown of your head up and away. And remember to keep the tailbone tucking under to really open up the hip flexor. And breathe all the way down into that space. So really expanding the capacity of your inhalation and exhalation. Trying to relax through the eyebrows, through the jaw, shoulder blades relaxing down the back. And really allowing the heart space to stay lifted and open. Nice. If you wanted to increase it and feel more length, lifting the side body up, lifting out of the hips, you can take the arms up if that feels okay. Otherwise, just staying with your hands pressed into that front thigh, just here for a few more breaths. The arms are lifted, really feel all of the tissues around the hip lifting up and out. So you're energizing all the way into the fingers. Just last breath here. And then as you exhale, bring your hands down either side of the front foot. Just bring your left hand on the inside, and then you can either pause there or start to lift up through the back knee, tucking your right toes under. And then again, push through that back heel, stretch through the crown of your head, and gently squeeze in through the thighs. Just notice what's going on in the body, in the mind. See if there's anywhere else that you can make more space. Last 2 or 3 breaths. And then at the end of your next exhalation, gently drop your right knee down, send your hips back, walk your hands back, and slowly bring your left foot round. Take your toes together, knees slightly apart, and then sit yourself back onto your heels. Just find a moment to pause here. If that's uncomfortable, just take your legs out in front of you. Just bringing that awareness of the energy lifting out of the hips, and try to keep that elongation, that ascending motion in the spine whilst relaxing the shoulders down the back. So from here, take a nice deep breath into the belly. And as you exhale, walk your right fingertips behind you and left fingertips just hold onto the side of your right thigh. Keep energizing into the crown of your head as you inhale, lengthen up. And as you exhale, see if you can twist a little bit deeper from the navel point. As much as feels comfortable, you can look around towards the back of your mat, but only as far as the neck feels comfortable. Breathe deeply into your belly. And try not to struggle, to strain. Just going where the body wants to. Nice, take a final inhale here. And with your next inhalation, gently de-rotate, find neutral. And then as you exhale, bring your left fingertips behind you, right fingertips to the edge of the left thigh. Inhale to lengthen the spine up, and as you exhale, twist a little bit deeper. It's finding a comfortable position through your neck, but looking round to the back of the room as much as you can. And breathe deeply into your belly. Couple more breaths. And then with your next inhalation, slowly de-rotate, come back through to the center. Nice. And then We're gonna use a little bit of space by the wall now. So if you have a wall space that you can clear, just bring yourself close to it. If you haven't got a wall space, you can use a sofa or a bed, something like that. So bring yourself up as close to the wall as you can. So your hip is just touching the side of the wall. You might want to bring your blanket with you. If it feels you need a little bit of padding underneath your lower back, just grab one blanket and bring it next to the wall so you've got something to bring your hips onto, or you may want it for the back of your head. So as you swing yourself around, let your legs go up and then just shuffle yourself as close into the wall as you can. So the closer in, the more intense it's going to be in your hamstrings. So if it's a little bit too much, then just keep your sit bones a little bit further away from the wall. That's fine too. Nice. So from here, you might also want a blanket over your feet and legs. We're going to be here for a little while, just working into a hold for our inversion here. So it's very, very gentle, but super effective in bringing all the energy back down towards the heart and moving up towards the brain, up towards the head. So you can take the arms wherever feels best for you. If you have your arms more overhead, it's going to bring a little bit more stimulation into the lungs, more chi and blood flow to there. So here you can just let yourself completely rest. If your head needs a little bit of extra support, head and neck, just grab your blanket and bring it underneath the head. So you've got a little pillow. Otherwise, just find a really nice space to rest into, and you can close down for the eyes. We're here for around 7 minutes. So it's a fairly long hold. So while you're here, just feel your breath moving. And really notice the breath moving the lymphatic system, the circulation of the blood, of your prana, of your oxygen, of your life force. And visualize it so that as you inhale, the breath is going all the way to the feet. And then as you exhale, the breath is flowing all the way back down, clearing your body out. And just stimulating this downward or upward flow of energy towards your head. So as much as you can, you're really slowing the breath down. Really elongating the breath out. And completely emptying yourself. So allow the belly button to gently fall towards the spine. So you feel all of that stagnant air, stagnant energy floating out of the body. So you can pull in fresh new prana, chi, to replenish you on all levels. When we work into these inverted states, it brings a little bit more energy also to the third eye. So not only are we working into the throat center, but also stimulating the higher mind, that ability to perceive more truth, have more awareness of the full picture of what's happening. Just slowly allowing ourselves more to see through the space, working more into the throat to allow more clear expression of our truth. So we're here for around another 4 minutes or so. Just allow yourself to completely rest. So if it feels okay for you and you'd like to increase the stretch just for the last couple of minutes, you can take your legs wide. If you haven't got anything to rest your legs onto, but you wanted to take them wide, you can hold them up with your elbows rest on the floor, your hands supporting your knee joint. So it's just a gentle resting. And if you wanted to add more weight and your legs are able to rest on something, you can bring your hands on the inner thigh. Just coming through our last minute. Let's just take a final round of breath here. And then if you took your legs wide, just hold on to the sides of the thighs and gently pull them back up to center. And then you can slide your feet down the wall. So bring them a little bit wider, so they're about as wide as your hips, if not a little bit wider than your hips. And you can support your knee with your hands, elbows rested on the floor if that feels nice. So coming into more of a squat position here. So make sure that you've got enough space for your belly to breathe through the thighs. And feel the chin very gently tucking towards the chest, crown of the head lengthening away. So we're getting a really lovely spinal stretch, but also working into the hips too. So you can gently push into the feet. If it helps, you can turn the toes a little bit further out as well. And just breathe deep into your belly. If it gets a little bit too intense, you can always take your feet higher up the wall. And if it's more comfortable and you've got the space to, you can bring your feet closer in towards the sit bones. So you've got a real strong stretch. And if you wanted to increase the stretch, you can take the arms long overhead, palms rested, back of the palms rested down onto the floor. Really utilize abdominal breathing, so nice deep belly breaths to help shift and move all the tissues around your pelvis and to really create a nice flow of energy down into the pelvis. Nice, just last minute and a half here. If you can take your feet a little bit wider and increase the stretch, please do. And if you need to come out at all, please always allow yourself that space to come out. Just last few breaths. It's just final round of breath here. And then your exhalation, just gently wiggle your feet in towards one another, all the way in so that the soles of the feet can turn in and touch each other. And then let the knees drop further apart. Again, you can support the knees or push onto the thighs with your hands, elbows rested on the floor. And let your feet, your heels come as close down towards your sit bones as feels comfortable. If the feet drop apart a little bit, that's fine. Working into butterfly. So just continuing on with the inner groin stretch and this position of having the legs up above the hips, is just allowing that flow of energy to keep migrating down towards the heart, the brain. So continue to breathe abdominally, just here for around 2 minutes, not too long in this one. Again, if it's too strong or if it feels a little bit too much in the inner thigh, you can take your feet higher up the wall and just support the thighs with the hands as much as you need to. Maybe even working to press the knees away from you. That's just a final 30 seconds or so here. It's just final breath. And then take your hands to the sides of the thighs and use your hands to gently push the knees back in. You can slide the legs straight up the wall again. And just pause for a moment. From here, take your right foot and bend the knee out to the side so you're coming into a figure 4 position. And you can just slide the foot down the shin. So if that feels enough for you there, stay there. If you can bring the foot to the end of the thigh bone, you do that. And you want to work to really push that right knee away from your body. If you've got more space to work into the stretch, you can start to slide your left foot down the wall so the foot's flat on the wall. If it helps to roll the thigh open, you can grab hold of the right thigh and literally roll the muscle away from your body. So it's going to create a little bit more space in the groin. It's like a pigeon pose, but recline, much more gentle for the spine. You can support the legs as much as you need to with your hands. And as much as you can, you're sliding that left foot down the wall, closer towards your sit bones to increase that stretch in your right hip. Again, breathe deeply into your belly and try to relax the eyebrows, the jaw, the tongue, the throat, the shoulders, and as much as you can, relax that right hip. Nice. If it's too strong, always take yourself a little bit further away from the wall so you're not as compressed in. Just here for about another minute.
one benefit of practicing at home, if you need to really use the breath to sigh the breath out or to make any sounds to help release you, you're in really safe space to use the breath, use the voice as much as you need to. Sometimes it helps the body to release a sound when we're working into these longer holds or maybe deeper spaces. Just take a final breath here on this right side. You can slowly slide that left leg all the way back up and then take the right leg off slowly. Let's take a moment there. And you want to roll the feet in and out. And then when you're ready to, you can slide your left ankle down the shin, taking the left knee out. And as far down you can take that left foot down towards the right thigh. If that feels okay, pause there. You can use your left hand to push that knee away if you can't work into that energetically. Keep that knee open. And if you want to increase it a little bit more, just sliding the right foot flat onto the wall. And then hold in there. Again, maybe using your hands to roll that left thigh muscle open and away. Maybe using the hand as a support. Maybe you need to come a little bit further away from the wall. Just finding any modifications and then pause in and breathe in. Maybe allowing the breath to move all the way down into the belly, into that left hip this time. Relaxing through the eyebrows, eyes, jaw, the tongue, the throat. Relax through the belly, the chest. This last minute or so here. Just taking last 2 breaths here. And then you can slowly slide your right foot up the wall, take your left leg off and just bring your leg straight up again to the wall space. And you can roll your feet in and out, just relaxing through the hips. And feel that nice rotation in the inner thigh. Lovely. From here, just slide your feet down the wall and take your arms out into a nice big wide T shape. Take an inhale here, and then as you exhale, allow yourself to roll off to the right side of your legs. So you're coming into a twist. So the feet can just gently press onto the wall space, and you want to use that pressing action to get your left shoulder down onto the floor. You can use your right hand on the side of the left thigh to keep the leg down, and you may also want to grab a rolled up blanket to take in between the knee and the shin, just to act as a little bit of support. So here for a little bit longer. If it's okay for your neck and shoulders, you can look across your left shoulder. And again, breathe into the belly, so nice deep belly breaths. Really let your body surrender. So you're just melting into the support of the floor. You can allow a really lovely deep twist to come through the center of your body. Let's just taking a final round of breath here. Gently preparing yourself to move back to center. Turn your head back to the center. You can grab hold of any props that you took. And then gently as you inhale, come back to center of your legs. You can bring your feet onto the wall. Just readjust through your spine, through your shoulders, through your head. Take another inhale. And as you exhale, let the legs drop over to the left side this time. Move any props that you might need over. Make sure your right shoulder blade is glued down to the floor, so you can gently push the feet into the wall so you can get that really nice turn through your upper back. You can hold on to the right thigh with the left hand if that feels comfortable, and then looking over to your right shoulder if that's okay for your neck. Just allow yourself to completely surrender, so you're not holding at all. Just take the last minute. Take a final round of breath where you are. And then gently guide your head back to the center. You can move any props out to the side. And as you inhale, next round, slowly bring yourself onto your back once again. Bring your feet together and slide them all the way down the wall. So they're as close into your sit bones as you can. Really push into the wall. Feel your spine nice and long, and you can interlace your hands around the shins or hold around the backs of the thighs and just gently energize the shins down towards your body, and just hold here for a few breaths. Again, keep breathing into your belly, nice deep breaths. Nice, you could take your arms up over your head, palms back to the palms, flat to the floor, and gently push into your feet, touch into chest and get that lovely stretch in your spine. Just 2 breaths. Nice, and then from here, roll off to one side. Just take a moment on your side. You can make a pillow with that underneath arm. And then when you're ready to, gently press yourself up to all fours. And we're going to move into Shavasana from here. So you can take a blanket for the back of your head. It's a nice small rolled up blanket. And you might want a blanket or a bolster cushion for the back of your knees, or especially over you if you're in a cold space. When you're ready, just come to the middle of your mat. Prop yourself up as much as you need to. Slowly bring yourself down to the floor. Taking the arms and legs out long. So as much as you can, you feel supported through the backs of the knees, through the neck. And then you can just let your legs, your feet fall out and relax. And take your arms out to the side. Just feel your shoulder blades glide down your back so the heart stays open. And turn the palms up to face the ceiling. Take a nice deep breath into your belly. And sigh the breath out. Take 2 more. Nice deep breath into your belly. And sigh the breath out. Last round, nice deep breath in. And sigh the breath out. Feel all of the body softening and relaxing into the support of the floor. You can close down through the eyes if they're not already closed. And just let all of your muscles soften, relax. Feel heaviness moving into the bones, heaviness into the body. allowing your breath to enter into a very natural, spontaneous rhythm. Not trying to control the breath at all, just feeling a very effortless flow of energy in and out. The inhale, feeling the quality of nurturance, of healing. And each exhalation, feeling a sense of real deep surrender and release. And in that surrender, it's allowing the earth to completely support your body. Letting your body just fall into gravity, to be held, to be supported. And you becoming more of that space of witness, just allowing any sensations or thoughts to come and go. Not holding, gripping onto anything at all. Just observing, watching, and completely resting in this space. Very gently and gradually begin to remember your breath. Feeling some movement into your fingers, your toes, maybe turning your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, sigh or yawn. And then whenever you feel ready to, making some bigger movements, just finding any intuitive stretches that feel good for you. You can slowly walk your feet in to the floor so the knees are bent, and just take a few sways through the knees side to side. And then gently bringing the knees into the chest. You can continue rocking side to side. And then just rolling off to one side. Pause on your side for a moment. Feel your mind come back into the space, back into some motion. And then when you're ready to, gently press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. When you're ready, just taking a nice deep breath in and reaching the arms all the way up overhead. As you exhale, bring the prayer down through to the heart space. Exhaling fully, 2 more rounds. Nice deep breath in, reach wide and up overhead, stretch long through the spine. And exhale to pull the energy back down to the heart, to the solar plexus. And one more big circle through, reaching up, gathering in all that energy, lifting you up and out of the hips, out of the lower mind, and bringing your hands down to rest in front of the heart space. Just taking a nice deep breath into the heart. And exhaling to bow the head down to the heart. May we continually return to our practice as a form of self-inquiry, as a space for healing, space for evolution and for growth. And may our practice always bring us the enthusiasm to continue doing what is necessary to give us and provide us with building an enthusiastic, positive, and really magical life, because we are deserving, and that is what our practice should bring us to. Very Thank you so much, everyone. So nice to see you all.